Hey you guys, it's Britt. Tonight we're here to talk about Miss Katie Joy going absolutely off the wall on her Instagram stories. I was sent a DM over on my Instagram and said, oh my god, have you seen Katie Joy and what she's doing on her stories? And I watched a few and I was like, this is definitely worth a reaction. There are so many stories to get through and we're going to go through the ones that I think are the most meaningful. So if you're interested, please keep watching. All right, you guys, so as we know, Katie Joy is just toxic, problematic, known to manipulate situations for her own financial gain. She is a trauma vulture and she puts out incorrect information constantly. And very recently, she had a very loud falling out and then getting back together with Gypsy Rose Blanchard and Kristy Blanchard. And I covered that in my last video, which I will have linked down below in case you're like, what on earth is going on? It's all good, but she is back on Team Gypsy, back on Team Kristy, back on Team Blanchard, and we're going to go through these stories because she is defending this family like her life depends on it. Very weird behavior. Listen, as a commentary channel, your job is to remain neutral. You should not be building friendships and relationships with the people that are consistent topics on your channel. That's how I feel about it. If I were to build an online friendship, parasocial relationship with somebody like Colleen Ballinger, the Doherty Dozen, Brittany Dawn, Katie Joy, any of the people that I cover, that would automatically take me from being an unbiased commentary channel just here to react to what's going on publicly to having friendships and bonds with these people. And once you have a friendship with somebody, how on earth can you deliver an unbiased video on them? You know what I mean? So let's go through these stories, see what's going on. This is a lot. Okay, so the first story is 23 hours old, so I'm catching it right before it expires, but she said, if you are using Nina on TikTok as a source about Gypsy, she is not only unreliable and mostly inaccurate, she also directly interfered in Gypsy's parole and falsely reported Gypsy for violating her parole. People who file reports are not anonymous and the parolee is made aware of who is reporting her. Nina then flat out denied reporting Gypsy to her parole officer. If I'm putting this out, I'm expecting to follow up with a receipt, something to back up my claim, because that is a really big claim to put on somebody who's delivering commentary, to say that they are interfering with a literal felon's parole. You better back it up by a receipt. So let's see what the next story is. And if it's not a receipt of Nina interfering with parole, then again, this is just another situation where Katie Joy is saying claims with no evidence. The next story is not a receipt, but it says, over the years, I have learned that many people literally hate Gypsy based upon false narratives, complete lies, and baseless assumptions. It's more popular as a creator to hate Gypsy and you will get better views. I didn't join this rodeo after her release. I've been with this family since 2019 in the midst of her incarceration, and I know exactly who Nicholas Godejohn is. 2 of his prison girlfriends have accused him of violence and threats. Both have apologized to Gypsy. Okay, so where's the proof about Nina interfering with parole or anything prison and Gypsy related? Let's go to the next story. So this is a screenshot between Fancy and Katie Joy, and it says, just thought I'd let you know, this is Fancy talking. Just thought I'd let you know we now have the complete inside story on Nick, and we intend to make sure that guy never gets an appeal or sees light of day. Thank God Gypsy escaped that sociopath. Hope you were well. Katie responded and said, and this is June 17th, 2019, She said, "Hey, it's been a while. Hope you're all right as well. Yeah, I've just been super busy, working 6 days a week, trying to get this move on. What did you find out? I'm curious, but yes, I totally agree." Here's what I want to say again, and I've made this very clear in prior videos. I am not a Nicholas Godejohn fan. I'm not a Gypsy Rose fan. I'm not a Ken Urker fan or a Ryan Anderson fan or a Kristy Blanchard fan or a Rod Blanchard fan or a Dee Blanchard fan for what that's worth. But I can say that I do think that Nick received an unfair trial. And I do believe that Gypsy has been given or put into a position that is undeserving. So while these creators want to jump in DMs and bicker back and forth and jump sides and pro Gypsy, pro Nick, pro Ken, pro whatever, I am not pro anybody, because I think all of these people, including Katie Joy, are to some level not well. Some more than others, obviously. Now, as a side note, not only is Fancy mentioned in this thread, but also somebody named Bree. I don't know who Bree is, so I can't deliver an opinion on Bree. So if I skip over slides or stories that have Bree mentioned, it's just because I don't know Bree. I literally have no idea who Bree is. I don't know, so I'm not going to give an opinion. Do y'all know Bree? What's Bree's deal? Is she trustworthy, untrustworthy? Sound off in the comments. I don't know Bree, so I'm not going to give an opinion on what Bree is up to. Katie Joy is also reporting a bunch of TikTok videos over here, and she's bragging about that. She plugs her TikTok. She cannot be easily manipulated. I don't take what I hear at face value, and I seek outside confirmation. The reason I can be friends with Kristy and Gypsy is because they haven't lied to me. They will provide any proof I need for any baseless claim thrown at me, and I've gotten to know them outside of this public BS. I was around when literally no one cared about them. Gypsy was still in prison. The public had no vested interest in Gypsy. I did not join a story when it became the hot topic. When I say Nick Godejohn is evil, it's because he is. I have 5 years experience with his behavior and the pain he inflicts on so many women. Gypsy was paroled because she demonstrated her commitment to the programs, learning and bettering herself while incarcerated. She has an extremely low possibility of reoffending, and she is incredibly remorseful for her crimes. She didn't have to convince the public. She had to convince a parole board, and she had many in her family standing by her side, including Dee Dee's nephew, who wrote a letter in support of her release. She has reunited with many in her mom's extended family, and many of her cousins understand what happened, and many feel guilt that they didn't help her get out before it got to this. I want to say there have been a lot of opinions made all across social media of calling into question whether or not Gypsy was used as a child. I have seen some red flags, but I don't feel comfortable enough jumping on video and saying that she was not abused. I think that she was in on a lot of stuff that Dee Dee was doing, especially in the later years, because it was getting them a lot of benefits. It was getting trips to Disney and, all kinds of attention, money, donations, all the things. But as far as saying that she was never abused as a child, I don't feel comfortable saying that. And if people are jumping on video and saying she was never abused, then I don't feel comfortable co-signing that. But my opinion of Gypsy has remained the same. When she was first released, I had really high hopes and high expectations that she would utilize her platform for good. However, very quickly we saw a complete turn of, oh, this is somebody wanting to start a new chapter, to this is somebody who literally wants to be a celebrity, will soak up any attention she can get, and will literally discard people like Ryan Anderson as soon as she thinks that she has ability to move to the next thing that is better in her mind. And that is a problem. Gypsy Rose is not a celebrity. She should not be treated as a celebrity. Nicholas Godejohn is not a celebrity. He should not be treated as a celebrity. However, the fine print for Nick is that he did not receive a fair trial. And that's where I stood on it. So Katie also said, I was a no one when I met Kristy Blanchard. I had 4,500 subscribers. My channel was brand new and I was still the primary caregiver of my son. So my channel was not my full-time job. Let's talk about her being a caregiver. Katie Joy's parenting has been called into question many times. Y'all can check her Reddit or check other videos for that. As far as her leaning on, I only had, 4,500 subscribers. I was a nobody. The Blanchards have proven that they will go with whomever has even a small platform. If you are on their side, they will attach themselves to you. And Katie Joy took the bait because she is not an intelligent person, in my opinion. She also goes more into Gypsy's kind of very specific medical stuff. Like, I'm not here to talk about the medical stuff with Gypsy. I just don't feel comfortable going over those details. Here's the thing, like, in my opinion, no commentary channel should be dissecting Gypsy's medical records from when she was a minor. So I'm not going to cover it. Let's get on to the next thing. Katie also shows her own medical closet of her son. What a weird thing to publish on Instagram. Like, Katie Joy, you need to seek help, lady. Someone asked, is Gypsy planning on going back to school? Katie said, I haven't heard her mention this. She's honestly been pretty committed to therapy and rebuilding her relationships with her family that her mom alienated her from. But she's also making sure that she has a lot of free time to get attention from celebrities and be messy on social media. She shared on TikTok that she was watching that show, what is it called, like Baby Reindeer or something? I haven't watched it, so excuse me if I got the title incorrect. But she's sitting there like, oh, how cringy, how cringy. Gypsy Rose, that's what we all think every single time you upload a new video. You are the cringe, you are the problem, and you are the person that does not deserve the platform that you are standing on. Katie also posted a photo of Nick and responded to a question that said, so who is Nick? Is he the matching tattoo guy? This person was thinking of Ken, not Nick. And Katie responded and said, the man that murdered her mother by stabbing, it actually says stabbling, her 17 times and slit her neck to the bone. He's a monster. But we also need to talk about the fact that Nick, in his interrogation, admitted to far less than what showed up on the autopsy. I've covered that before. Someone else said, what are your thoughts on people saying Gypsy left Ryan for Ken? Well, here's the thing though, as a complete side note, she left Ryan because Ken came crawling back once she was semi-famous on social media, and she decided to just take the risk and throw her marriage in the bin. But Katie's thoughts say, it's just not true. Gypsy left Ryan because they never should have gotten married. They weren't compatible. She never stopped loving Ken. She wanted the marriage to work, but she didn't leave Ryan for Ken. She left Ryan without even knowing that Ken was an option. Ryan's behavior and their incompatibility is why she left. I will say that Ken is extremely patient and a lot more low-key. Easygoing than Ryan. He doesn't have public social media, and he really does complement Gypsy's personality so much better. They fit together. I know how it looks. She knows how it looks, but Gypsy and Ryan both know the marriage didn't work because they weren't right for each other. Katie Joy, this opinion and synopsis that you have is complete garbage. Most of us see exactly what happened with Gypsy and Ryan and Gypsy and Ken and all of the sloppiness. Ryan got thrown in the bin for somebody that she had a previous connection to. It's as simple as that. So here she's responding to her cutting ties and then coming back to mend things very quickly with the Blanchards. Somebody said, didn't you say yesterday she wasn't taking her healing seriously? I'm just confused. Totally valid. Katie responded and said, I was so overwhelmed when I posted. I cannot explain the overwhelming fear I had that when I saw her with Kim Kardashian, I felt this need to scream and try to protect her, which then made me think all the lies about her were true. But when I took a moment to calm down and reconnect and sort it out, I knew my reaction was out of love. As ridiculous as it sounds, she is in therapy and found new providers near her parents' home, and she's working with 2 different professionals. Kristy knows me well enough to know that my reaction was truly out of love, concern, and fierce protection. Fierce protection, that's also what she, the tag that she put on Kristy Blanchard to claim how she was a fierce and protective mother. I debunked that and threw that in the trash as well, just like, Gypsy threw her marriage in the trash. But what I would like to say is these kinds of reactions, this is not what a trustworthy commentary channel does. You don't build such a connection with somebody that you're covering that you sit there and make these crazy videos and sever ties and denounce people because you, quote, love them, and you did it out of love. Kristy and Gypsy absolutely put Katie back in her place, and I think most of us see that. So they're talking about her lazy eye, microdeletion, blah, blah, blah. Someone else asked, Ryan recently stated he won't speak ill of Gypsy. Just the truth. What's that about? And Katie said, I can't stand Ryan. Gypsy will also not go after him publicly, but Ryan is, and really into fame. And he thinks he has fans. It's weird, and it's honestly a reason many of us don't like him. I felt like he was there for the fame from day one of her prison release. He enjoyed it a lot. But what does that say about Ken? Ken was also somebody who was willing to write and become a pen pal of a convicted murderer. And I can tell y'all that if I was single and lonely and looking for a companion, I would not be going to a prison pen pal website and deciding to communicate with a convicted murderer. Maybe I'm crazy, but She also added to that previous response and said, Ryan needs to just go away quietly and not make the divorce harder than it has to be. The same could be said for Gypsy. She needs to go away from social media and just live her life. If she is so happy and so content with Ken, then go away. We are all tired of seeing you plastered all over every damn social media platform. Katie also said the difference between Ryan and Ken is that Gypsy and Ken aren't filming their relationship. Ryan and Gypsy's marriage was filmed, and so much of their outings were for content. That creates a strange basis to form a relationship, because I would think it's hard to know what is real or what's for show. With Ken, it's all real, and there's no doubt he's there because he loves Gypsy, or he loves the limelight that she was given and the celebrity status she was given a few months after her release, and decided to crawl his way back. Katie also addresses Kate, which I've got a video coming on Kate, but the follower said, how do you feel about the way GRB has bullied other survivors? Katie said Gypsy did not bully another survivor. She didn't even know that woman and never reported or copied her videos. But Miss Katie, see, Kate shows proof and you show no proof. So if I'm going to choose a side, I'm going to go with the person that is willing to show proof, receipts, evidence, all the things. So kick rocks with that little opinion. Someone else said, as always, thank you for being the best reliable source on covering Sweet Gypsy. Oh my God. This actually makes me want to get sick. Sweet Gypsy? Sweet Gypsy. The woman that is being given a celebrity status for orchestrating the murder of her mother and using somebody that was not mentally composed to carry out her crime. Sweet Gypsy. Katie responded and said, no problem. Sticking by her, it's always been popular, but I've seen firsthand how hate fueled by conspiracies and lies has caused people to turn on me. I won't be the person to turn on a friend over the same reason, no matter the backlash. Katie, you're garbage. You are true garbage. So the last question I'm going to read the response to, because then she goes on to other stuff, is, I meant to put Nina's claims y'all made her deactivate her account. Katie said, I didn't make Kate or anyone else deactivate their accounts. Gypsy nor I have any involvement in anyone's choices. Gypsy does not know Kate and did not bully her. Kate should be free to post content. No one would mind. Whatever that means. Katie, you're a joke. You've always been a joke. Your content is to not be trusted. It is not to be taken seriously. And you look like an absolute idiot standing beside Gypsy Rose and Kristy Blanchard. A lot of people who did support Gypsy and have now turned and decided to say, is this really the side that we should be on? Those people have critical thinking skills. And by supporting, then not supporting, then supporting again after you had a 3-hour call with Gypsy, all that you've done is show that you are as slimy as a snake. And that is what people have described Katie Joy as for years, especially on YouTube. And I think that she is the laughingstock of the commentary genre, among a few others. But she, like, how on earth could you even trust somebody that is this all over the place? It's like watching a freaking tornado try to create a channel. Please. But either way, she definitely had a whole lot to say, and I don't believe any of it. You want to put stuff out like this and stand on it 10 toes down and show some receipts. I appreciate people that stand on receipts, facts, and evidence, and Katie Joy is not known for any of the above. But I think that's enough ranting for tonight. So if you like the video, please leave a like and a comment. And if you'd like to see more from me in the future, please subscribe. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.